Kawasaki first revealed its intention to create a range of supercharged four-cylinder bikes back in 2013, when a prototype H2 engine was the centerpiece of the firm's stand at the Tokyo Motor Show, although by that stage rumors of the project were already circulating. Patents for a supercharged Kawasaki had been appearing for several years. At the end of 2015, Kawasaki dropped hints of additional supercharged models by showing drawings of the SC01 Spirit Charger and SC02 Soul Charger, one half-faired, the other naked. It also showed off a new balanced supercharged engine derived from the H2S design but aimed less at outright power and more at torque. Paintwork aside, the ZH2 and ZH2 SE haven't been altered since their introduction. Given that the COVID-19 pandemic struck just as the original ZH2 hit the market, drying up supply chains and sales with effects that are still being dealt with today, there's still a rare enough sight on the street to guarantee a second glance. The main draw of the ZH2 is inevitably that supercharger, spinning at 110,000 RPM and forcing more air into the 998 cubic centimeters per cylinder engine than it would otherwise be able to inhale. Essentially, that means it behaves like a larger capacity motor. There's a slight hesitation on initial throttle openings, but after that the flow of torque and power is enough to allow wheelies on demand and sub-10 quarter-mile times. That power, all 197 horsepower at 10,500 RPM and 101 pound-feet. At 8,500 RPM according to Kawasaki's spec sheet, or 167.2 horsepower at 10,580 RPM and 87.6 pound-feet at 8,560 on the CW dyno, travels through an assist and slipper clutch to a quickshift-aided 6-speed transmission. Whether you opt for the base ZH2 or the semi-active damped ZH2 SE, you're buying a high-spec set of suspension components. It shows in the way the bike hides its mass. It's not a track-focused machine, but with so much power on tap, the stability of the chassis is a blessing. It also means that while the ZH2 can be a top-rate adrenaline pump when required, there's a sensible side that lets it swallow miles without leaving your nerves frayed at the end of every journey. Like the suspension, Kawasaki hasn't cheaped out on the ZH2's brakes. Brembo M432 monoblock calipers grab 320mm front discs, assisted by Kawasaki's KIBS anti-lock system, which monitors brake pressure, wheel speed, throttle position, clutch position, and gear to optimize the level of braking provided, limiting rear wheel lift and helping to make any intervention by the ABS to be less intrusive. The front brake is very strong with good feel to the point of ABS intervention, at which point the rider loses some feel but no stopping power, unless the ABS fully takes over to avoid what it determines to be impending wheel lockup. There may be superbikes that offer even more performance than the ZH2, but chances are you'll crawl off them after a day's riding with a back like Quasimodo. That's where another of the Kawasaki strengths shines through, as it's a surprisingly comfortable, roomy machine. Vibration is surprisingly low despite a high RPM. Blower seat comfort is surprisingly high even after many 200-mile days, and seat-to-foot peg distance is good and generous. I never touched a foot peg, or anything else, to the ground. The rider triangle is pretty comfortable and well proportioned. The only noticeable quibble was that the passenger seat seemed a little close for my 5'10" frame at times. Although not quite as packed with electricity as the Ninja H2SX SE, Kawasaki's first radar-assisted motorcycle, the ZH2 and ZH2 SE aren't short of toys. Both versions get cruise control, launch control, traction control and ABS with an IMU-assisted Kawasaki cornering management function that assists braking and acceleration in turns, multiple riding modes, smartphone connectivity, and a standard up and down quickshifter. On top of that, the ZH2 SE gains Kawasaki's KZS semi-active damping, using a skyhook algorithm to alter the suspension settings as you ride and adding multiple modes for different conditions. All the H2 bikes are Kawasaki's flagship models, and their build and spec reflect that. The ZH2 lacks some of the top-line elements offered on the Ninja H2, such as self-healing paint, but it's still at the apex of the firm's quality.